Basically, the minimally invasive system is such, at least the one that's envisioned and marketed by Medtronic, there is no cutting of tissue except the skin, and that's it. So anybody can have a skin wound, and that heals up, and it heals up painlessly. But with the expand-style tubes, you're not cutting tissue, you're separating the fibers of the muscles apart, and in so doing, you're not precipitating blood loss, you're not tearing or damaging tissues, and when you pull that tube out 2 hours, 3 hours later, the tissues just fall back together, and you don't have contraction, you don't have scarring, and you don't have you end up with muscle tissue that can be returned to normal in every form or fashion. And that's part of the beauty of this system, because they don't have the pain associated with that muscle loss. And they don't have that long-term rehabilitation that never works.
Dr. Rouben's got a way of explaining things to where people can understand on their own terms. The best way I know to describe it is, and instead of being laid up for 6 months or 8 months like the old ways, this new way, instead of having to cut all the muscles across, they just kind of thread in between them and go from there. Went in at 6 in the morning the next day, well, afternoon, I got up and walked out. Real slow, but I walked out. I'm on power. I feel good. Still sore, but I'm just out of shape. But I've only got just a couple small scars, nothing major. I've been out chopping wood and riding four-wheelers and riding mountain bikes, playing with my grandkids, having a good time. And it's been less than a year, then I feel good now.
To me, it wasn't an option. It was either live in pain the rest of my life or have the surgery. So I wasn't like worried about, well, what's my other options, because I felt like I didn't have one. After he did the fusion, I feel like a totally different person. I mean, my kids used to say I'm grouchy all the time. And I was always in bed, and at least now I don't have to spend my time in bed, and I can spend time with them. And I've missed 3 years with my kids and my husband, and I didn't feel like I was in control of my life, and I feel like I'm getting some of that control back. And I just feel like I've been given a whole new chance at life.
They're overwhelmed with their friends not believing that they've had surgery. And this is not even at 6 months. This is at 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. And it just makes you feel good. I mean, it's nice to see these people come back, and for the first time in over 20 years to know that you've done the right operation and the patients are getting well from it and not being made more miserable than or equal to the misery they had before you started, just another area of misery. It's a wonderful feeling.